Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Viewers, Assalamu alaikum. Today our topic is statutory return. Now the question is, what is a statutory return? All the forms, returns or documents required to be filed with concerned authorities, that is registrar concerned, commission and stock exchanges, where required under various provisions of the Companies Ordinance 1984 or rules regulations made thereunder, are termed as statutory returns. Statutory return contains information which are filed with the registrar concerned of the company registration office, which we usually called as abbreviate as CRO, where they are made publicly available so that anyone can verify the details about any company. All the returns forms are to be filed with prescribed fee and within the prescribed time frame. Format can be downloaded from the official website of the Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan. Statutory returns are filed under any of the following three situations. Number 1, immediately after incorporation of company. Number 2, periodical, that is annual, half yearly or quarterly. Number 3, on the occurrence of any particular event. The Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan, which we normally abbreviated as SECP, has prescribed the formats of the statutory returns in the company's General Provisions and Forms Rules 1985. Specific forms for single member companies are prescribed under the Single Member Companies Rules 2003, which we oftenly call as the SMC rules. Formats of annual returns, that is Form A, B, are prescribed under third schedule of the ordinance. Format of the circular to be sent to member along with the notice offering new shares is prescribed through SRO under section 86(3) of the ordinance. Now, what is the utility of these statutory returns for stakeholders? Very important questions. What is the utility of statutory returns for stakeholders? The returns forms filed by the company become part of the company's record maintained by the registrar concerned. Regulation 18 and 19 of the Companies Registration Offices, Regulations 2003, read with subsection 6 of section 466 of the ordinance, authorizes the registrar concerned to permit member of the public to inspect or obtain copy of documents on payment of the fee prescribed under the 6th schedule of the ordinance. The company record is open for inspection by the general public so that the stakeholders, for example banks, investors, vendors, suppliers, creditors, importers, exporters, etc., may be well informed with state of affairs of the company, make decisions about their investment and to deal business with the company. These stakeholders and any member of public can also obtain certified true copies of the relevant corporate record of the companies when needed or asked by any institution as part of documentation. Therefore, it is important to file statutory returns so that updated record of the company could be maintained, made available by the registrar concerned. Now, our next step is filing of statutory returns. Number 1, procedure for filing statutory returns. Number 2, points to remember before submission. Procedure if returns forms are filed late, and regular statutory returns. Now I discuss about the procedure for filing of statutory returns. Now our first is, what are the modes of submission of statutory returns? Now viewers, there are two modes of filing statutory returns with registrar concerned. Number one is e-filing. You may file returns online through e-services of secp.gov.pk, and the another mode is physical. A physical, and here physical can be you file through personally. You may visit the CRO and file the return by hand or by post. You may post the return through registered mail or courier at the postal addresses of CROs. Now the question is, can information given by the company in simple letter without prescribed form, return and fee be considered as submitted return with the registrar concerned? The answer is no. Any information which is required to be notified by the company should be filed on the prescribed form with the applicable fee. For example, if the company changes its registered office address, the company cannot simply send a letter to notify registrar that company had changed its registered office address from one place to another. The company should report the same on prescribed, that is on form 21. Now the next question, from where format of returns forms be obtained? In case of online submission, the statutory returns forms on the prescribed format containing the existing information shall automatically appear in the e-services portal of the SECP. You can pay the filing fee. The filing fee can be paid deposited through challans in any of the designated branches of MCB Bank or United Bank Limited. In case of online submission, challans are auto-generated, and in case of physical submission, challans in the physical form are available at all the designated branches of MCB Bank Limited and United Bank Limited. Now the points to be remembered before submission is, in case of physical submission, companies should ensure the following standardized criteria while submitting the documents, statutory forms and other returns to the registrar or the commission. Number one, use A4 size paper with good margin. Use only black typing to complete the sign the documents. Use bold letters. Do not send carbon copies. Do not use a dot matrix printer, and do not send color printed documents. In case of physical submission, if a company wants to submit handwritten filed returns, it is necessary that it should not be filled with ink, as writing may be erased if it becomes wet, moist, resulting into loss of information. It should be therefore filled in by using ballpoint. Since all the returns filed by the companies are scanned to create electronic database of the companies, therefore it should also be ensured that writings are clear and easily recognized, readable by the scanners. Filing of returns forms does not take place until these reach with the registrar office within the prescribed period as laid down under the law and rules. For example, Form 29 is required to be filed within 14 days of the date of reporting change. It means Form 29 should be received by the registrar within 14 days of the change, otherwise it will be considered late filing of form and return. Any return filed without filing fee will be considered in the same way as if no such return had been filed by the company. Therefore, ensure that the payment of prescribed fees has been made in the manner as provided. In case of physical submission, bank challan in original is required to be submitted as an attachment. In case of both physical and online submission, company must ensure that necessary attachments as specified on the form are attached. Any other necessary document related to the form may also be attached. Viewers, management of the company is responsible for filing of the forms returns within statutory time period. Legal corporate consultant services may be hired for this purpose, but responsibility to file statutory returns within due time rests entirely with chief executive and directors. Therefore, ensure that your legal corporate consultants have all the necessary information to prepare your returns. It is advisable to follow up your consultant and don't assume they are getting the job done.